Good morning, Rocketeers. Hope you enjoyed your long weekend. Glad to be back with you for morning meeting. This is Mr. Wheeler. We are starting Unit 4, Responsibility, Problem Solving, and Community Action. So what is responsibility? Responsibility looks like being in the right place with the right tools, doing the right thing, and owning my own choices and behavior. That's why in part of our creed, we say, I am responsible for my learning, actions, and achievement. So this week's big questions for the stories in What If Everybody Did That? What message do you think the author is trying to communicate? And if you've read the story before, what's something new that you noticed or thought about this time? In the story Pigsty, what lesson do you think Wendell learned? What happens when we let a problem grow bigger and bigger? And how can you show responsibility in your community? How do you feel when you take responsibility and solve a problem? So, day one, we're going to first share out what jobs do you see and what are each of these people responsible for? I'll give you about 20 seconds. You can share out loud using I statements, or you can type it in the chat using I statements. Ten more seconds. I see a crossing guard. I know we've seen crossing guards at school ourselves, and they keep us safe when we cross the street. I'll let you figure out the rest of them. Our objective for today is that we can show responsibility by choosing small and big actions that solve problems and help others in our community. It's also important to remember that we all make mistakes, but we all have the opportunity to own it, which means admitting mistakes honestly, and fix it, which means apologize, repair, and do better next time. Own it and fix it. That's our personal responsibility. And that's also our community responsibility. So if we see a problem, we have the responsibility to our community to do something about it. So how could you help solve these problems? You could use I statements to whoever you're watching this with, or you could type it in the chat. I know some of these problems are easier to solve than others, but they all have solutions. So this week, one of our core texts is about responsibility. And you may have heard or read it before, but a truly great story can cause us to think and grow every time we read it. So if you've read it before, look and see if something stands out this time that you may not have noticed last time. And also think about how this text relates to our community. It's called What If Everybody Did That? When we went to the zoo, I fed just a little of my popcorn to the bear. The zookeeper waved his broom and said, What if everybody did that? And then on the right, it looks like that's what could happen for each of these things if people did all do those things. I just wanted to see how fast the grocery cart would go. It went faster than I expected. When the manager stopped me, she said, What if everybody did that? On the way to visit Grandma and Grandpa in Kansas, I dropped just one soda can out the window. The patrolman who pulled us over said, What if everybody did that? At Uncle William's wedding, I took just a little lick of the frosting from the fancy cake. The lady behind the table glared at me over her glasses and said, "What if everybody did that?" I told the babysitter that I took a bath just once a year. As she shooed me into the bathroom, she said, "What if everybody did that?" During story time, I had something important to say. I just couldn't wait till the end of the story. The librarian put her finger to her lips and said, "What if everybody did that?" While we sat in the car waiting for Dad, I honked the horn. I just honked a few times, but Mr. Thompson came to his door. He shook his head and said, "What if everybody did that?" So, as we see, the right hand of these pictures, the right hand side of these stories, they're not very pleasant pictures if everyone was doing these things. So, day one, thinking about the text. If everyone tries to talk at the same time during class, what happens? If everyone's making loud noises, what happens? And what message do we think the author is trying to communicate? I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to share out with whoever you're watching with, or you can share out in the chat and let me know some of your thoughts. Just about 10 seconds left. So get your thoughts together and see what this story made you think about. All right. In closing, think about what your actions are doing to your community or to other people, and what it would be like if everyone did exactly what you're doing. Would your community be safe if everyone did what you were doing? And would your community be friendly if everybody did what you were doing? That's an important thing to think about. Because just like we said before, we all have responsibilities to our community. And that's our thoughts for today. So, once again, I can't wait to see what you guys are thinking if you want to put it in the chat, or if you guys are just having some good conversations at home. You guys have a great day of distance learning, and I will talk to you next time.